Meghan Markle's journey through Hollywood is starting to feel less like a fairy tale and more like a tense drama written for streaming television. For weeks, whispers have grown louder, headlines sharper, all circling around one name: Ted Sarandos. He's the Netflix executive who once opened the golden doors of Hollywood to Meghan and Harry with a multi-million-dollar deal. But now, instead of being the background power broker, Sarandos is suddenly being cast as a central figure in Meghan's orbit. And the optics? They're messy enough to keep the tabloids hungry. Let's step back for a moment. When Meghan Markle entered the royal family, she didn't fit the mold of the quiet, dutiful princess. She was American, divorced, outspoken, and she knew her way around Hollywood's backrooms long before she knew the halls of Buckingham Palace. That combination made her magnetic, but also dangerous in the eyes of critics. From the very beginning, some accused her of using Harry as a stepping stone rather than the final destination. Back then, those warnings sounded bitter. But today, with whispers about her charm offensive towards Sarandos, people are starting to wonder if those critics saw something others ignored. Think about Harry's sacrifices. He left behind the military career he'd worked hard for, the royal duties he was born into, and the family ties that defined him. All for a life in California. The selling point was control, a chance to tell their own story through major partnerships like the Netflix deal. The promise was bold: documentaries, original productions, maybe even the foundation of a media empire. But the reality didn't shake Hollywood the way many predicted. Sure, the projects brought attention, but they didn't dominate the industry. And when the spotlight fades, Meghan has never been one to step quietly aside. She finds another way to reignite it. That's where Sarandos comes in. Insiders claim Meghan has been working overtime to stay close to him, praising him publicly, attending his events, laughing a little too eagerly at his jokes. To some, it's just savvy networking. To others, it looks like a calculated strategy. And that distinction is exactly why this story burns so hot. In Hollywood, ambition and charm are often blurred. But when the person playing that game is Meghan Markle, a woman already accused of rewriting the rules, every move feels explosive. And where does this leave Harry? The man once celebrated as the world's most eligible bachelor now looks increasingly like a supporting character. His devotion is undeniable. He left an entire world behind for Meghan. But cameras don't capture loyalty, they capture body language. And lately, Harry's presence seems out of rhythm with his wife's relentless Hollywood push. Meanwhile, Sarandos isn't new to this dance. As the head of Netflix, he's been courted by actors, producers and directors for decades. But Meghan isn't just another hopeful, she's a duchess, a global headline generator, which means every smile, every shared stage, every photo beside him carries weight. Even if completely innocent, the gossip machine doesn't wait for facts. Critics argue this is Meghan at her core, a Hollywood player who leveraged the royal title into access to the most powerful rooms in the world. They say Sarandos is just the latest target in her ongoing climb. The tabloids eat it up, casting Meghan as the ambitious social climber, Harry as the loyal but sidelined husband, and Sarandos as the Hollywood king caught in the middle. Brutal, but undeniably effective at selling headlines. And here's the irony. Harry and Meghan left the monarchy to escape endless scrutiny. Yet in California, the circus hasn't stopped. It's just taken a different form. Now, Harry isn't the rebellious prince. He's the husband trying to keep pace with a wife who knows that in Hollywood, relevance is the only real currency. Recently, Meghan has been photographed trailing Sarandos at industry events, smiling easily within his circle. To gossip writers, that's catnip. Some say she's just playing the Hollywood game, showing up where the power is. Others argue the attention is more calculated, designed to ensure she stays in the spotlight, whatever it takes. And while Meghan thrives in that spotlight, Harry looks more and more uncomfortable. Friends whisper that he's frustrated by the rumours, but his silence only makes him look weaker. In a world built on perception, silence can be the sharpest weapon. Of course, Meghan's defenders fire back. They argue this is just sexism dressed as scandal, that a woman building professional connections is judged more harshly than any man in her position would be. They remind critics that Meghan and Harry's Netflix deal is still ongoing and being close to Sarandos is part of the job. But gossip isn't about logic. Gossip survives on suggestion, not proof. And right now, the suggestion is powerful. Meghan is maneuvering herself deeper into Hollywood's inner sanctum. The tension is unmistakable. Too royal for Hollywood, too Hollywood for royalty. That's exactly what makes her irresistible to the press. For Netflix, the stakes are high. Meghan's name guarantees attention, but media giants hate unnecessary risk. If whispers about her motives grow louder, Sarandos may be forced to distance himself, whether he wants to or not. For Meghan, that would sting, because in Hollywood, access is everything. And Harry? His biggest question remains unanswered. Where does he fit into all this? He left the monarchy for freedom. But in California, that freedom feels more like a stage without a script. Meghan knows how to perform. Harry, stripped of his royal role, often looks lost in the wings. The palace watches from afar, no doubt seeing every new rumour as proof of what they feared, that Meghan's ambition isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. Every move she makes not only reshapes her own image, but further complicates Harry's fragile ties with his family. Meghan has always been a master of reinvention. From cable actress to duchess to global celebrity, she's turned criticism into fuel and gossip into headlines. That strategy keeps her in control, no matter how brutal the coverage gets. Harry, on the other hand, risks fading into the background. The man once celebrated as bold and rebellious now looks like a secondary character in someone else's story. What happens next? That's the question everyone is asking. Will Sarandos eventually step back to protect Netflix? Will Meghan pivot to a new power player if the narrative grows too risky? And will Harry find a way to reclaim his identity or remain in the shadows? One thing is certain. The drama isn't going anywhere. Meghan Markle has shown no sign of retreating. If anything, the storm is only getting stronger, and for Hollywood and royalty alike, she's become the headline they just can't escape.